It's time for a trip to the old continent. Welcome to Mojo Travels, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 countries in Europe to visit in 2021. Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to Mojo Travels and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at various European nations that travelers should consider visiting in 2021. In this video, we'll be discussing the distinctive appeal of various countries across the continent, both highlighting underrated destinations worth discovering, as well as appreciating Europe's most popular countries from new angles. Number 10. Georgia. Though traditionally overlooked by travelers the world over, this country at the crossroads of Eastern Europe and Asia is finally getting the attention it deserves. Since 2015, the tourism industry has been growing at an impressive rate, and quite frankly, it's long overdue. Authenticity and distinctive cultures rank highly on the list of priorities for contemporary travelers, and in this regard, Georgia is perfectly positioned. Its capital, Tbilisi, is a wondrous cultural hub boasting a unique cuisine, awe-inspiring and diverse architecture, and a very long history. The city's growing popularity has given rise to boutique hotels, a fast-developing nightlife scene, and a generation of chefs reinventing and elevating classic local dishes like khachapuri. But the city is evolving without losing its eccentricities and local charms. With its diverse landscape and excellent skiing, the country as a whole is worth exploring. Number 9. Greece. Unlike our previous entry, this Mediterranean destination requires no introduction. For history buffs, it's sure to rank among the top 3 countries on their bucket list. Of course, the numerous Greek islands, each with their own distinct character, also make this area popular with beach bums, sun worshippers, and young travelers looking to party. Foodies will equally find much to love about Greece, not just to sample the country's culinary exports at their best, but also to get better acquainted with lesser-known regional dishes. This is the sort of European destination where, no matter how many times you visit, you're always sure to find something new to appreciate and enjoy. Greece is an easy sell, but since the country has been weathering major economic hardships dating back to 2008, this trip comes with the added benefit of knowing that your money is helping its recovery. Number 8. Portugal. This Western European nation has long played second fiddle to its more popular neighbor, Spain. But with the latter's population having pushed back against over-tourism in recent years, Portugal is finally getting the love it deserves. The downside, over-tourism has quickly become a problem here as well. But be that as it may, no trip to Portugal is complete without a few days in Porto and Lisbon, or Lisboa, both of which remain stunning cultural hubs with much to appreciate, even if they get overcrowded. The real reason that Portugal appears on our list, however, is the sheer diversity of what it has to offer. Beyond these tourist magnet cities, the savvy traveler will find a country of wildly diverse offerings. Portugal's lengthy coastline boasts countless pristine beaches. Smaller cities and towns like Tomar, Viseu, and Monsanto have all the trademark Portuguese charms, minus the hordes of tourists. The country as a whole is also a hiker's paradise. Number 7. Romania. We know. Whenever you hear Romania, the very first thing that might come to mind is Dracula. Well, it's time to do a mental reset, because dismissing this Eastern European nation as being mostly of interest to vampire lovers is doing yourself a major disservice. Romania is home to numerous castles and forts, each more impressive than the last. There are 28 castles in Mureș County alone. Bran Castle, which inspired the story of Dracula, is the most famous. But Corvin Castle, or Castelul Corvinilor, and Peleș Castle are 2 other must-visits. This is also a land of great natural beauty, but arguably the greatest argument for visiting Romania is the city of Sibiu, which feels criminally underrated but is sure to become an it destination over the next decade. In terms of culture, architecture, gastronomy, and a pervasive sense of romance, it almost rivals iconic destinations like Bruges, Prague, and Florence. Number 6. Norway. The cost of living in Norway might not be cheap, but there's no arguing with the quality of life. And during your time in the Scandinavian nation, you'll quickly come to understand why Norway consistently ranks among the happiest places on Earth. Home to roughly 5.5 million people, Norway is peaceful, beautiful, and extremely welcoming. The architectural beauty of its cities and quaint charms of its coastal towns are surpassed only by the splendor of its landscapes. Exploring the fjords of Western Norway is to step into a kind of fantasy world. If that isn't enough of a crash course in northern beauty, consider that, depending on the season and how far north you're willing to go, you can also see polar bears and the aurora borealis. Of course, you can have a great Norwegian holiday without ever leaving a city, leaning into the many cultural offerings of this modern society. Foodies, Oslo is considered a culinary scene to watch. Number 5. Poland. Inexpensive, historically fascinating, and seriously underrated, Poland is the sort of destination that surprises people. The tragedies of World War II make for a very sobering brand of tourism. No historic site makes quite as significant of an impact as the Auschwitz-Birkenau Museum and War Memorial. And there are many sides to this diverse and culturally rich country. UNESCO World Heritage sites like the Old Town Market Square in Warsaw and Krakow's Wawel Castle are must-visits. The architecture of both cities in general will have you staring up in wonder as you navigate their storied streets. And considering how great the food is in Poland, you'll want to get in a lot of walking between meals. Pierogies, cabbage rolls, kotlet schabowe, Poland is a land of comfort food, and it does it very well. Number 4. Austria. Though often overshadowed by its neighbor Germany, Austria is a world-class destination in its own right. The biggest and most obvious selling point is, naturally, the capital city of Vienna. Most major European cities boast notable architecture, but few can compete with Vienna in terms of beauty or variety. Romanesque, Baroque, Art Nouveau, Expressionist, Vienna is a veritable crash course in architecture. Then again, the Austrian capital has long been a hub of all manner of arts and culture. Moving beyond the country's most celebrated city, however, we're reminded that the Austrian countryside is every bit as compelling. The breathtaking Tyrolean mountains have a magnetic quality to them that will make them a must-visit for hikers, while Albach offers world-class skiing. As much as we love the affordable grandeur of Vienna, anyone visiting Austria must set aside some time to visit the many picturesque villages that dot the countryside. Number 3. Italy. We know what you're thinking. Italy is just about the most unoriginal European destination you could put on a list. Ask any random passerby for their travel bucket list, and it's sure to be near the top. But, as overdone as it might be, Italy's timeless appeal remains intact. Its impossibly rich history, friendly locals, slower pace of life, culinary excellence, and picturesque landscapes make Italy one of the most satisfying places you can visit. The key to a great Italian vacation in 2021 is to move beyond the greatest hits. Keep your time in places like Rome and Florence relatively short. While there, consider skipping the attractions and instead experience these cities like a local. Then head to Bologna and the smaller cities of Emilia-Romagna, like Modena and Parma. Alternatively, you can instead focus on Italy's less visited south, which savvy travelers are embracing for a more authentic and regional Italian experience. Number 2. Croatia. In the last couple of years, Croatia's popularity has absolutely skyrocketed. Between 2010 and 2019, tourist arrivals doubled to nearly 20 million. For decades, the country was something of a secret. The tourism industry has long been strong, but historically the vast majority of visitors come from neighboring European countries. Now that the word has officially gotten out and gone international, crowds are definitely an issue. But with a bit of effort and planning, you can still have the Croatian holiday of your dreams. Dubrovnik and Zagreb are every bit as picturesque as advertised, but as the country's top 2 tourist magnets, you should be sure to venture beyond them. The old world architecture and Mediterranean cuisine can be enjoyed just as easily in places like Silba, Pelješac, and Šibenik. In such places, you're likely to have a much more authentic experience, just by virtue of not being part of the over-tourism problem. Number 1. Malta. Feeling generally ill at ease about traveling in 2021? Well, there's no better way to recover from the stress and anxiety of 2020 like a European beach getaway, especially in a country that consistently ranks among the world's safest. This gem in the Mediterranean, south of Italy, is home to a population of under 500,000 residents. At 122 square miles of land, it's the 10th smallest country on Earth. But it packs a ton of character and charm into its modest footprint. Malta is famously welcoming, and with English as a second official language, communication is a breeze. Boasting approximately 300 days of sun per year, the weather in Malta is essentially perfect. When you're not enjoying one of Malta's numerous beaches, the rich local culture and history will keep you plenty busy. Ancient temples, shipwrecks, numerous festivals, A mouth-watering local cuisine, there is a lot to like about Malta. But best of all, despite its appeal, it remains relatively uncrowded and notably inexpensive. Check out this other recent clip from Mojo Travels, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.